Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Mika Hutchins and I am broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is the Protego Foundation, and there are a few ways you can help help the animals. The first one is watch my streams here on Twitch and bring your friends. There's only 2 streams left this month. I will be making my customary donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. So bring your friends. There's one more after today. It is Thursday. Oh wait, I didn't tell you the other ways you could help. It is Thursday, but let me tell you the other ways you can help. You can donate to our fundraiser on Twitch as well. We have raised $10 of $20. That $10 was from last year's fundraiser. I reopened it and upped the ante, doubled our goal, so please donate if you can. The third way you can help is making a direct donation. I have put the link to the Protego Foundation in my About section on Twitch and also in the description on YouTube in case you're watching this as a recording later. Okay, it is Thursday, for real. That means it's illustration time. I am continuing work. I don't have anything to show you from other than this list of brainstorming from yesterday. This part of the process is not as visually interesting, but it's absolutely vital to my illustration process, so bear with me. Oh, Bigman2K, hello! Great to see you! Welcome! How have you been doing? Ah, I see. I was like, how do you do that? How do you have the hi like it's an emote. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Yesterday I stopped right in the middle of brainstorming because I was well past streaming time and I knew that I wouldn't be able to, I just needed to stop because my train of thought was going to go on for way too long. But like I said, I kept this page up from the Montana government fieldguide.mt, that's montana.gov, so that I could learn more about where these bees that I've chosen to be my bee for my model bee for my onomatopoeia piece. It's the Hunt's bumblebee, and I was trying to figure out where they live their lives so that I can create an environment that makes sense for them. So that's where I left off, and it's just a single paragraph, but it's absolutely chock full of information. So I yesterday just said, I'm gonna stop here, leave this page open on my phone, which I did, and we'll come back, because what I'm doing is creating a brainstorming list of terms, and then I can pull from these ideas and create the environment or the scene, or at least create a bunch of different thumbnail sketches. That's the next step. Create a bunch of different thumbnail sketches just to test some ideas. See, what would it look like maybe? Just a general idea of some possibilities, because there's no right answer, but there are more effective answers than others when it comes to illustration. So let's get back to it. I'll read this first. This is kind of like when I do my Imaginaturalist sketchbook pieces and I read the encyclopedia. So I'm reading this scientific. It's interesting. It's under the category or heading reproductive characteristics. But what I wanted to know was, where do they live? And so that's the first thing it talks about, which is nests mostly underground. So I'm just going to read this whole thing, then I'll go over it again to pull out little nuggets of inspiration. So 90.3% of 31 hives built underground in southern Alberta, the remainder on the ground surface. Most nests established mid to late May. Mean numbers of eggs, larvae, and pupae in first broods were 9.3, 8.2, and 9.4 respectively. Mean number of eggs laid per cell of second and third broods was 3.6. I'm not going to try to understand that because I don't think it's going to help my illustration. That's like, what? I'm sure I could understand if I tried to, Like, I understand all these words, but putting it together. So let's skip that because I don't think it helps what I'm trying to depict bees going buzz buzz. So that's what's more important. So the next line says, largest hives contained up to 531 cocoons. That was from Hobbs' 1967. A nest in New Mexico early August contained 515 workers, one queen, 709 empty worker cocoons, 101 larvae, 119 queen pupae, 117 worker pupae, and 308 eggs in the brood mass. The nest was built on the ground in an old wood rat nest of shredded wood fiber under a storage shed floorboard. So that last little bit actually does help. The nest is built on the ground in an old wood rat nest, shredded wood fiber under a storage shed floorboard. So since this was under a storage shed floorboard, I still feel like in general the bees would prefer to be underground for their nests. So if we were to depict their home and the buzz inside the bee's home, that would be something to keep in mind because there wouldn't necessarily be daylight coming in as far as lighting or coloring goes. But I don't see, there's no images about what their nests look like, so it might not matter that much. To be honest, I feel like drawing the bees in with the flowers would be the most visually accessible because that's just a really common visual language is bees with flower, bee with flower. But it is good to try different ideas. So let's see what we can pull from this. I already pulled out a ton of flowers and plants from this page yesterday that they like to eat. Or eat from, probably. They don't eat the whole plant. So we've got underground or surface ground nest. I wrote that already. It just sounds like there's huge numbers of individuals. This little bit of information, and this was from Medler 1959. They had 515 plus 1. I'm trying to add these numbers. The empty worker cocoons doesn't matter because unless those were out, like out and about, I don't know what that means, but we won't count those. But we've already got over 500 plus the larvae, which is the little babies. So that's 600 if you want to include the babies. And the pupae, another couple hundred of them. So that's like 600, 700, 800 plus 300 plus eggs. So we'll put hundreds of bees in nest. Oh, that's okay. Sorry, I didn't see how... I don't know if you just sent that or if it's been waiting a minute. So I wasn't ignoring you. I was reading this little thing. So that's okay. I'm glad you could join me. So in case you didn't hear, I was just greeting you and thanking you for joining me and asking if you're doing well. I hope everything's going awesome. I'm still so honored that people will join me while they're working. That makes me feel special. I haven't found specific words to explain exactly why, though. It's like of all the things, all the music you could listen to, podcasts, you decide to spend your time with me. Thank you. All right. Can nest in other animals' old nests. That's something else I can take from this little paragraph because this said it was a wood rat nest. So it doesn't necessarily have to look like a traditional or not even traditional, that's not the right word, a stereotypical beehive. Let me search now for, so this gave me an idea. Let's try to find it if there's any images. Images of Hunt's bumblebee nest. Oh, wow. Oh, they're so cute. There's so many of them all together. Bumblebees are just so dang cute. And then they're all jumbled together, working in their nest. Let me look at this one. I don't think these are Hunt's bumblebees. These are a different kind of bumblebee, but this is what I'm talking about. They're all in a little pile. Oh, so freaking cute. Well, that's an idea. We could draw a whole bunch of bumblebees all. Yeah, there's more pictures like that too. We could draw them tending eggs. So let's put, I'm going to put in parentheses bee pile, like dog pile, but it's bee pile. That's what I saw just then. And then we've got here's some examples of the bumblebees tending their eggs. But the more I look at this, the more I think it will probably be most effective to go with the more expected scene of bees on flowers or flying about. I don't know how noisy it would be inside it. I mean, I guess it would be noisy, but maybe not because they're not flying. Let's see. Hunt's bumblebee nest. So this is the Wikipedia page for it, but I don't know if it has images of it. This has the one picture. Dang it. Hunt's bumblebee nest. Bees Wiki. Bumblebee nest, how to identify them. Oh, they're so cute. They just come out. They're just a hole in a hole in the ground. There lived a bumblebee. That's what this picture. Little hole, and then there's everybody living their best life there. Okay. So this is beeswiki.com, and the title of the page is Bumblebee Nest. I'll show you that. It says bumblebee nests are not at all like honeybee hives. Because the bumblebee life cycle lasts only one season, oh, it's so sad. That means every lovely little bumblebee I've ever seen is already gone. That's so sad. Bumblebees approach home ownership in an entirely different way than honeybees, which can survive for several years. What does a bumblebee nest look like? The bumblebee nest does not resemble the honeybee hive at all. Honeybee hives are elaborate, well-planned structures that are constructed with the aim of housing the colony for several seasons. Hexagonal cells are formed to store honey and bee larvae, and the hive itself must be able to accommodate several thousand bees. Oh, so that actually... So here, when I wrote hundreds of bees in the nest, my mind was blown. I was like, wow, that is so many bees. And then now I'm reading that the honeybees actually have thousands of bees. So the bumblebees are not that many. Okay, let's continue. Bumblebee nests are less complex. They're lined with leaves. Oh, it's so cute. They're lined with leaves, animal fur, and other materials that will serve as insulation. Okay, insulated nest. This is a great resource. Okay, insulated nest. And we'll put leaves, for... So this is actually making me feel like it could be a really nice depiction, because if we have all of these little textural elements... Okay, what else did it say? It leaves for... Oh, and it just says, that's all I'll put, etc. Just natural materials they can find that are good insulation. There may be a few wax cells and honey pots, but there's no need to spend time and energy on a complicated system meant to conserve food. The bumblebees will die after a few months, so they plan accordingly. Smart bumblebees, they know. They're like, this is our... The bumblebees are like, YOLO, and they don't worry. Don't worry, YOLO. How big is a bumblebee nest? Since bumblebee colonies include from 40 to 400 bees, so it sounds like well, that was just a single nest, so maybe that one was different. But this says up to 400 bees. That information we were reading from the 50s, from a study in the 50s, was a lot more. Although we were counting the larvae too, so... Okay, next. They are level... Holy crap. Okay, hold on. I gotta start this from the beginning. I read to the end before I spoke it out. So, let's start. Since bumblebee colonies include from 40 to 400 bees, they are a lot smaller than honeybee hives, which contain around 50,000 bees. 50,000 bees. Whew, that's a metropolitan city for bees. This is a single home, so that's more like they don't build a home, they build a city. They build a... Wow, that's incredible. That is so awesome. I did not know that. Of course, we don't know where this information is coming from other than Bees Wiki, but maybe at the bottom it has its references, but we'll just trust it. We'll just trust it. Nest size is dependent on the time of the year and particular species, but generally the size of a bumblebee nest is only as large as what is needed to house the number of bees inside. Makes sense. Some of the bumblebees that make smaller nests are Bombus pratorum and Bombus hortorum. I still can't get over that they're called Bombus. That bumblebees are called Bombus. So cute. Okay. What do bumblebees look for in a nest? Bumblebee queens are opportunists and will try to find an existing hole for their nest rather than build it from scratch. They're so smart. They're very smart. They make the best of their short time on planet Earth. Specifically, she looks for a location that has adequate shelter and enough shade to keep the temperature regulated. Most species choose dark, dry cavities. Some of the common places where bumblebees choose to make their nests include rodent burrows, piles of leaves or lumber, tall grass, birds' nests, and even the gaps behind the siding. While most species select a location that's close to the ground, some bumblebees find a satisfactory home in the hollow of a tree or other high, lofty spots. What are the signs bumblebees are looking for a nest? Early in the spring, the queen bumblebee will begin her hunt for a home. The search starts when she's about ready to lay her eggs. Below are some of the signs that the queen is looking for a nest. When a bumblebee is zigzagging its way along a path, that means the queen is looking for a suitable nest. She'll also be flying low to the ground to inspect all prospective sites. So that's great visual information. So let's make note of that. Zigzag along ground equals looking for nesting site. So I can imagine that could be an interesting scene. We could have a bee going me, 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 and that would be making buzz, buzz because flying, and then we would be low to the ground. That's only a single bee though. I want to create lots and lots of noise by having lots and lots of animals, as I've done in all the pieces in this series so far. But still, we could use it. We don't have to create a scientifically accurate scene either. We could have multiple bees working together in our scene, because the point is to teach animal onomatopoeia with a beautiful illustration The point is not necessarily to be 100% scientifically accurate. Okay, the house hunting bumblebee will explore all kinds of shady areas, particularly holes in the ground or crevices in walls. A compost bin may be an ideal location for her nest. The queen, who is looking for real estate at a higher altitude, may be hovering near or bumping into the house's windows, especially if the windows are in a shady spot. Oh, so that's why bees and wasps and stuff sometimes bang on my windows, and I'm like, what are you doing? Don't hurt yourself. They're trying to come and inspect. They bet they don't understand glass. Glass is not a normal, natural thing. So they're like, oh, let's check out this. Boom, boom. They don't understand. Why can't I go in there? There's an invisible force field. Okay. Oh, I don't need this one. How to prevent bees from nesting. The bees can come to my house and do whatever they want. All you bees, you're welcome here. Okay. Can the bee nest be moved? Okay, this is more what to do. Oh, how to protect a bumblebee nest and support queen bees. Most people have heard that bumblebee species are currently facing threats. I mean, it is stress, but threats like habitat loss, disease, climate change, and pesticides. But humans can play a role in helping to save bumblebees. There are ways to make the outdoor space a favorable environment for bumblebees. First, by providing good nesting locations. Some experts have recommended planting hedgerows, since they are essentially physical landmarks pollinators use to navigate their way from the nest to foraging grounds. Additionally, hedgerows provide sheltered habitats, offering protection from wind and rain. Planting flower. Okay, well, I won't read this whole thing because this is just what humans can do. Well, this is great. I don't know how accurate it is. It does not have any sources cited whatsoever. But it's the best I've found so far. There's like no information on Wikipedia. iNaturalist is just Wikipedia copy-pasted, so let's just call that good. We've got some interesting... I'm really confused about my Google search page. It's looking weird. Okay, let's just get out of it. There. I was like, wow, what am I looking at? It was like a picture of a lady with a grilled cheese sandwich, which admittedly I have grilled cheese sandwich like all the time. But I was like, why is it showing me grilled cheese sandwich right now? I was searching bees. It was just a suggested article that had nothing to do with anything I've been searching recently. Okay. I think we've got a great list of ideas to start with. I'm going to put my little gray pen away that I've been using. Let's use highlighter and analyze what we've got. I've got all kinds of word association words that I've done without research and then started to be around here, I think. So we don't really have honeycomb. We don't really have honeycomb. Wait, let's use the gray pen, because if I use black, it will bring attention to it. So I actually do want my gray pen back. That's what I've been saying. This is not a very visually interesting step in the process, but it is necessary to creating the kind of illustrations I like to create, so we'll get to sketching some fun thumbnail sketches very soon. First, I've got to make sure, because I first just did bee words that I thought of. Well, I didn't know that they don't really make honeycomb. They don't really have so much a hive as they have a nest. And they do make honey, but they just make... It's not like honeybees. Honeybees make a lot of honey because they have 50,000 members in their community. They make as much as their community needs, so there's not that much honey when you only have a community of several hundred, which is still pretty big, but that's so small compared to 50,000. I'm looking. I already cut out spring because these bees tend to be most active in fall and summer. Although it said they could be active year-round in places farther south, which I wrote here. What else? I wrote dandelions, but it doesn't say they eat dandelions, roses, or daisies. I've got this nice list of flowers they like over here. Ooh, leaves and grass, though. That is actually great because of the insulated nest. Sunshine, wind, rain, warm, daytime, bright, sunny, clouds, birds. I don't think we need birds. Birds will probably eat them. Flying, eating, speaking, communicating, queen, babies, desert, prairie, meadow, volcano, pine. And these were the names of the flowers that they like. Hundreds of bees in a nest, other animals, old nest. Okay. So now I have crossed out the stuff that's not actually relevant to this species of bee that I have chosen to depict. So I'll put my gray pen away. So first, I'm just going to put a line next to these items because these are all kind of one item. They are plants that could be a great addition to the scene because they tend to be favorites of the Hunt's bumblebee. So bee pile is kind of a cute idea. I never would have thought of that without looking up those images, but we could have the whole bee pile right in the middle of the scene and it'll just be like buzz, buzz, and then there's like all the buzz around it. And I don't have a circular illustration in this series yet, I don't think. So that could be a really interesting addition. Of course, flying is a great thing to depict, to have a noisy scene. Why would they be making lots of noise? Because they're flying. I'll put a line here too because these are all just places they tend to live. Desert, prairie, meadow, volcano, and pine forest. Of course, flowers. That's the classic association, bee with flowers. Okay. Yes, I feel ready. I was actually feeling pretty nervous starting today because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna draw. I don't know what to draw. But now I just need to get on Photoshop real quick, so give me a second. I want to print out, so I have to get on at my other workstation. The cameras are on my physical workstation right now. Guess I could switch over real quick. So my mic isn't that close to me. I'm not going to move it because this will just take a minute. Oh, you can hear the fans ramping up on my PC as usual. But I'll switch over as soon as this is open and show you what I'm going to print. Let's see. Open. And I think it's under visual art, art creation aids. So I need the 11 by 17. I'm doing these in 11 by 17. Well, I am doing it in the same ratio, but not actually 11 by 17. I'm making it a bit smaller and just scanning it in bigger. So there we go. So I am going to print a couple sheets of this. I'm just going to print it on my Brother laser printer. Dang it. I had a bad feeling. So here is video evidence of the issue that I have. If I open an older file that hasn't been opened for a while and I try to print, Photoshop crashes. And the only solution, I've tried so many things, the only solution is uninstall and reinstall Photoshop with no preferences on. Like, you have to lose all your preferences. And you can't save the preferences and reinstall them later because that's where the issue is, so it crashes. I didn't mean to turn it back on, but now I gotta wait. So I was explaining this problem that's been happening for years, and it's been happening for years before I started encountering it, because when I researched it, people have been reporting it for years before that. So as you can see, it really did crash, because normally that file I just opened would be right here in the recent files. So I'm not going to even bother trying it again, because this happens so often. What I need to do is uninstall. This is so frustrating. And see, it says Photoshop preferences. Before we uninstall this app, please tell if you'd like to keep or remove notifications, blah, 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 blah. You have to remove them. Because wherever the bug is that makes it crash, it's in there. I've tried so many things. I've tried uninstalling and reinstalling my printer drivers, and like literally just unplugging and plugging them back into the USB ports, and updating drivers, updating Photoshop. I don't know what the deal is. I don't have any other app that does this. So now everybody, for the next few months, will have to endure my complaining as I encounter thing after thing of my little preferences being gone, and I have to remember how to change the settings for these little things that you don't realize are so integral to your workflow until you try to use them and they don't work in the way you think. So, stalling, 64%. Ooh, the fans are ramping up again. I'll try not to get too irritated at it. Just try to accept it until they figure out a fix. There's nothing I can do but accept it. Adding remove tool components. I don't know what that is. At least it doesn't take terribly long to uninstall and reinstall. Ah, there we go. Oh, finishing. That was funny. Did you see that? It said open, and then it was like, no, finishing, and then it said open again. Okay, here we go. It always happens. If it's a file I haven't opened in a while, something about it just completely stumps Photoshop, and it's just like, nope. Crashes. So as you can see, all of my history, all of my preferences are gone. So let's go find that file again. Oh, right, and I hate this. I don't like the cloud document thing. It's already started. My complaining has already started. Sorry, you're going to have to endure it. Let's see. Career files, visual art, art creation aids, and 11x17 sketch thumbnails. So please work. Please work. I just want to print. Ugh, look at this. It's terrible. It's all wrong. Okay, I won't worry about that. I just need to print this. My rulers are gone. Okay, let's print. You can do this, me. Ah, see, look at this. The saved print information is an incompatible version. It has been set to default values. So whatever this is, I'm sure that this is what makes it crash. But it can't deal with it until you uninstall and reinstall Photoshop with all of your preferences gone. So somebody send this to Adobe and make them fix it, please. Save printer information on compatible. This is the same thing. Like if it would just give me this instead of crashing, that would be wonderful. I'm perfectly happy to check my printer settings. I always do it anyway. Okay. Let's see. I want to print on the brother. I want 2 copies. Oh shoot. I left my keyboard over on the other workstation. Come on. Okay. I'm going to get my on-screen keyboard. I'll do something to type. 2. It's in Japanese. Oh. How do I do this? Let's enter. No, it didn't do it. Come on, put a 2 in there. No, you know what? Not Japanese. English. Number 2, please. Boom. Okay. Let's see. Epson, yeah. Portrait. Wait. Why doesn't it support print? Hold on. Cancel. Why is it confusing? Print. Okay, it's good. Okay, I wanted to be able to open this. 2. Plain paper, yep. Hopefully I put the paper back in. We'll find out. 2-sided, no. We don't want double-sided. We want 2 separate sheets so that I can hold them up next to each other as I examine my different thumbnails. So let's see first. So that looks good. Portrait? Yes. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Now let's print. I don't know if you're hearing that, but Aoife's having a little dream. She's going snort. Oops. I was looking at Aoife and not at my screen, so I didn't see that. Alright, I think you can hear the printer going. Alright, now I gotta walk all the way around the back. So my printer's on the back side of my desks. Haha, hooray! Wow, I thought that would take like 2 minutes. Instead it took like 5+ minutes. But here they are. My little sheets to do some thumbnail sketches. Photoshop. Got the love-hate relationship with Photoshop. It's so great and so frustrating. Okay. It's okay. It's okay, me. Calm down. Alright, I've got my... I don't know where I want to point this secondary camera. Actually, this is the tertiary camera. I'll put it there for now. So I've got my... I'll reorganize my workspace here. Got my list of ideas. Got that up there. This here, but I want a clipboard to put it on because the paper sticks to this vinyl tabletop. Okay, got out me clipboard. These are actually a bit bigger than I normally do my thumbnail sizes, but it really helps to have the correct ratio. Couldn't think of the word. The correct ratio. So first what I like to do is take my blue pen and this little ruler, which is cool because it has this, I don't know, coating on the back, so that if you push it on that coating, it doesn't wiggle. It doesn't like slide across the page. But if you release pressure, then it'll be fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a halfway point on all of these, as close as I can. It's not going to be perfect, but okay, so it's a little bit bigger than 8 centimeters wide. I'll just try to find that halfway point. Mark it at 4 and then, it's not long enough. It's not long enough to reach. So, there we go. And then draw a line through the middle. That way I can keep in mind do I want the blue pen? Maybe I want that gray pen. That's what I got these gray pens for. Because they sit even further back when you look at it. Let's use the bigger one though. Then the blue pen. Blue pen is a little more eye-catching. Okay, so we're just going to mark this halfway point. And it doesn't have to be perfect either. These are just thumbnail sketches, so if it's a little bit off. I put that down because I wanted to get my ruler. In my brain, I was using a straight edge. And I was like, I need my ruler again, but the straight edge and the ruler are the same thing in this case. That's why I put that down and picked it up again. Okay, here we go. So a 4 centimeter mark. I don't have this as part of the printed page because sometimes I'd like to do, say I'm designing for 11 by 17 or at least that ratio, but it's not meant for a book, then I don't need this mark to indicate the gutter. Instead, I might want to do a division into 3s. So that's why I do this manually, because I could be using it for a completely different project. Just want that outside boundary printed. And then my guidelines depend on the project. Okay. I'll just do one for now. I have 2 pages here. But we'll start with one. There are a few ways I can do my sketches. It's always hard to choose. I can use graphite pencil, which I often do. Could use blue pencil. Something that people highly recommend as well is using both gray and black ink so that you can have contrast, levels of contrast, and see silhouettes. Maybe I'll start with that. So I'm going to try to find a larger brush pen. That's a smaller one. This one's pretty big. What does this one say? Brush liner. Oh, it's just a brush liner. It doesn't have a size. This one seems about the same or smaller. Oh, this is just a fine liner, a teeny tiny one. I know this is a small brush. Okay. Put that with that. We'll try this graphite one. Graphite brush liner pen. So the first thing I actually want to try is the bee pile. I'm loving this idea, to be honest. Like drawing tons of bees. Just all piled on one another. This definitely seems like a noisy occasion. Or a noisy scene to have all these different bees. And like I said a little bit ago, I don't have a circular illustration yet. So something like that, and then it would have just coming out I don't remember which side is supposed to be Japanese or English, but say this is boon boon, and then over here it could say buzz, buzz. Idea number 1. Now we could do the same thing, bigger, too. So it's the same idea, but we're really zoomed in. I'm drawing them farther apart than I would like them to be, I think. Just because if I'm doing it with black ink, it's hard to tell. Hard to tell what I'm drawing. If we zoom in, it might end up taking up the whole space. We have a little bit of space here. Would need more space, but we got to try different stuff. All kinds of different stuff. So say if we zoomed in super big. If we zoomed in so much. Sorry, I just realized that you can't see the whole bottom of my... There you go. We zoomed in so much that the scene is nothing but bees. That's also a different thing that we haven't done yet. I think it's a really cute, different idea, to be honest. I'm really liking it. So, wouldn't really be silhouettes of shapes on shapes exactly. I feel like it would be silhouettes of the lines that make up their bodies, because they've got, this particular bee has a black head, then a yellow stripe with black on it, then 2 orange stripes and another yellow stripe, I think. I can't remember, even though I drew them so many times. So I'm just putting generic stripes here to show that it would be more the stripes on the bees that would create different silhouettes rather than the bees existing in a space. Thing with this is, I suppose let's get a white gel pen out. I suppose the speech bubbles would go on top. You know, they just have to. They don't have to be this placement. I keep doing this placement. They don't have to be. We could put them in a different spot. This would be the boon. Eva's snoring again. Or buzz. Buzz. Let's see. I actually wrote it in here which side should be which. Hidari wa Nihongo. So yes, Japanese is on this side. Hooray, I was remembering. I actually really like this idea. It's so different from anything I've done so far. So far, I actually want to look. I am going to pull up. I guess I could actually share this with you as I do it. I just have to step over to my other workstation, but I can get this up on a, let's see, new Firefox tab. I'm going to go to my, oh, where am I going to go? Oh, my portfolio. My online portfolio. And bring this over here so that I can show you. I want to look at these to see what kind of arrangements I have done so far. So here we are, my portfolio, Denise Hutchins.art. So, here we go. Let's see, do I have these from... these aren't in order. The Moo Moo needs to go at the end. Well, anyway, the Moo Moo one that I made, well, Mo Moo. So the energy in this piece comes from the left and spreads to the right in a few different sort of fingers. So we've got a line coming along the top, along the middle, sort of dissecting it along the diagonal, and then there's a couple of lines here with these two. Then with the cats, this is a sort of all over thing. There's not any particular direction. This cat is looking down, this one's looking up, this one's looking up, and then opposite direction. This is sort of looking at the viewer. This one's at the viewer but sleeping. You can't see this one. And we've got this little one in the corner looking back, maybe at this teal one. So this is a sort of crisscrossing, especially with the psychic lines. Because if you follow the eyes, those are psychic lines. This is really crisscrossing here and coming toward you and away from you. And the frogs is similar to the cats. They're all separate. We do have some underwater, so that's a little different. Some depth. But we've got this psychic line this way, crisscrossing. Everything's crisscross. Another crisscross arrangement. This one's similar as well, though we've got a little more grouping going on. So that's nice. It's different. But again, crisscrossing. Here's a couple coming toward the viewer. These one's looking down. This one looking to the side. And here we've got basically one direction. The energy is going in one direction. It's going back and forth because we've got 3 coming towards us and 3 going away, but this is all one direction across the diagonal. This is another crisscrossing one. And again, this one's crisscrossing, but it does have... This is one where I ended up with a big blank spot in the gutter, which I don't mind, because it's the only one like that so far. But it is... These 3 look this way, but these 2 look at you. This one looks at you, but this one looks down. These 2 look away, the same direction you're looking. Okay. So now I have refreshed myself on what I've done so far for this series. And now you can see what I'm working towards too. Let me get my monitor back. So this would be totally different. And just imagine this. As you could see with all of those previous examples, part of the same series, I made all the animals super rainbow vibrant. Each animal is a different, bright, unnatural color. So imagine this is not just completely full of adorable bumblebees all cuddled together. They're each a different color, so it's just this rainbow explosion. I really like that idea. I quite like that idea. But there's plenty more. We should do lots of ideas. Lots and lots of ideas. So next, let's keep running with this one. So we could take it smaller. We got bigger and bigger, but we could take it smaller. And so what if we have it and they're all cuddled together and it's just taking up a little bit of space with the bee pile, like a dog pile, but it's a bee pile. In the middle, and we could have like leaves and little sprigs of grass and fur filling up the space. Maybe it's just little piles of dirt. Maybe they took over an old little ant hill or something. So we learned that they like to take over nests rather than waste their precious short lives building something from scratch. So they could be framed, which is actually Looks really cute like this. The only thing that I think might be an issue with this one is that this is meant to be a book in the end. So this by itself, if it was just printed like this, I think this would be great. But imagine it's a book, and so the most important part is, a big part of it is sinking into the gutter. So it doesn't show it as well here, but you know, in picture books, it comes out of the spine, and there's this little bit, like a centimeter or something, on each side that goes down into the spine. And so you're not actually seeing that part, even though it's printed. So I think that could be a problem, but we could, you know, do something in between, because this leaves plenty of room for, I don't know why I keep placing them here. They don't have to be here. I keep placing those. Let's see. Where did I put my bigger marker? White marker. Did I put it all the way away? Ooh. I had it out for the last piece. I want to be able to marker in on there. Well, whatever. We'll just let it be just a sketch. Just write in anyway. I wanted to do white ink in here so that I could see those speech bubbles better, but I guess I can still tell that that's what I'm doing. So we could do this, make it slightly bigger, so we'll do it in between here and here. So the silhouette of the bee pile. Oh, I just thought of a great name. It's a jumble of bumbles. Ah, jumbles of bumbles. It's a bumble jumble. It's a bumble jumble. So our bumble jumble is in the middle. And it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. We could have individuals off coming to join or leaving. So this is a bit bigger. It's bigger than this, smaller than this. And we could still have the lovely leaves and grasses, little tufts of fur, stuff framing it, but also this is their nest, this is their home. It's not just there to be pretty, it's there to keep these lovely bees and their family warm and safe. And the leaves don't have to just be on the outside. They could come all the way in. So that's what it looked like to me when I was looking at those images of bumblebee nests. They were just in the thick of it. So something like that. Wow, look, we have 5 different thumbnails just from the bee pile. Just from the bee pile brainstorming. Wow, and it's hard to choose because I either like this one or I like this one so far. And there's more we can do. We haven't done flying and flowers. We haven't done looking for a nest. Let's try looking for a nest. Because we could get the zigzag energy. It said that if you see a bumblebee zigzagging low across the ground, they could be looking for a home. So I'm going to try a bunch of small individuals. Zigzagging. That's an interesting composition. He was snoring again. I was so excited. My throat is all dry from this past... Oh, look, it's perfect. It just exactly turned to 1 hour as I said that. 1 hour of streaming, which means it's time for my break. I was just overwhelmed with a sense of thirst. So, perfectly timed. Let us take a break. I'll leave this set of thumbnail sketches like this. I encourage everyone else to also take a break. Get up and move around. Give your eyes a break by looking at something off in the distance if you've been looking at a screen or at something up close for a while. Get some water, stretches. I'm going to turn on my Be Right Back screen and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a great break. I got my yummy, this time it's a protein shake because I got my vegan cuts box today and it came with a vanilla protein powder in it, so I put it in my normal afternoon juice shake. So I'm getting lots of yummy nutrients in there. Got my vanilla protein powder plus my usual greens powder, juice, soy milk, and some water. Yay, energized. Oh, and Sarah, hello. I don't know if you saw me wave underneath my be right back screen. I saw you put lurking. I hope you're having a great time building furniture, if that's what you're still doing today. Thank you for lurking today. Yay. It's so nice to have people with me as I do this. It seriously makes it so much easier. And Sarah, you've been helping me for ages. You helped me back in the days of AOL, and I'm trying to work on a project, and I'm like, I need someone to chat with, and we're chatting on AIM. I still remember that. You helped me. You've been helping me for so long. Okay, so I did this little zigzag pattern. It would be along the ground, so kind of the same thing, like just leaves and maybe some twigs, you know, just stuff along the ground, leaf litter and some dirt. It's whatever the ground looks like. I could just find a forest floor photo or something, you know. For now, I'm just drawing random stuff. Just to fill it in, kind of show maybe what it would look like. Get a general idea. We could have one speech bubble up here. Boom, boom. And then the other speech bubble would fit here. This is Buzz. Buzz. Need a little bit more water. That vanilla protein powder is really sweet. So combined with the juice, that drink that I'm having, that juice shake is very sweet today. I like to get the 100% juice, so it doesn't have any added sugar in it, but it's just naturally sweet because it's, this one is banana, pineapple, orange, I think. And I can imagine that these would stand out really well if I did a sort of naturalistic forest floor or whatever kind of thing, because it could be desert. We have all of these information. Desert, prairie, meadow, volcanoes, or pine. Pine forest. So it could be all kinds of different versions of the ground, I guess. But if it was naturalistically colored, so basically a bunch of browns. Browns, maybe grays. Meanwhile, these bees are all super vibrant rainbow colors. Let's try this, but a bit bigger. We won't get the zigzag effect as much. It doesn't... I don't know if I'm actually going to go with this, but let's sketch them out. It's still bothering me, the idea. This is supposed to be a single queen searching for a home for her to start her colony. But in order to show the zigzag, I feel like I would prefer to have lots of bees. Otherwise, I feel like I'd have to resort to that cartoony little dotted line, you know, that shows where the bee has been. But let's try this. Let's take it bigger. So instead of tons and tons, we just have a few individuals that are very big. And we could still try to get the zigzag look. Maybe here's just somebody's head. And here's somebody's tail. Something like that. And then we could have... So is that another individual here? We could have the speech bubble here and maybe up here or something. Buzz, buzz. I just got reminded that I totally got wrong a movie trivia question, and I wasn't the only one. The answer was supposed to be Buzz Lightyear, but we chose Woody, and we got the actors switched around. And the person asking the question was like, no! I was like, oops. I just remember that because I wrote Buzz here. And the answer was Buzz Lightyear, but we said Woody. And then after I was like, oh, whoops. You're right. I was just so excited. I was so excited to answer because it was the movie trivia, so there wasn't that many questions that I really, really knew. But I was like, Toy Story, I'm an expert at this movie. And nope. I was glad I wasn't the only one. Others made the same exact mistake at our table. Yeah, it doesn't, it's hard to show the zigzag. It just doesn't make sense. I think it would be better to do this kind of thing, but have lots of bees that are out collecting food from the flowers. Well, let's try this then. I am going to look up some of these flowers that I've written down. Let's look up rabbit brush first. See what it looks like. No, not rabbit rush. I hate it when it corrects. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay then. Chrysothamnus. That's quite pretty. Oh yeah. I've definitely seen this around where I live. I just didn't know what it was called. Okay. Mostly just looking. My voice is going. It's because I'm having a great time today. And I'm speaking so much and my voice is like, nope, I'm done. Okay. Drink a little bit more water. Maybe that will revive my vocal cords. Rabbit brush. I'm looking through the image results. Oh, this is a nice one. A colorful Colorado native shrub. This is a nice picture. So this will help me visualize what at least this particular plant looks like. So say we have this flowers coming out. I'm doing very, very generic. Very generic representation of the flower. So they're coming out, and then we've got the bees visiting. So this is if we were very up close. And I've got to remember, start with a bean. The bees are the bean shape. Especially when you chibify them. They're already bean-shaped when they fly in real life, I discovered. But it's even more obvious when you chibify them. I realize what bothers me about this is that they're not flying, so it doesn't make a lot of noise. Okay, let's not do a up close. Let's do sort of a little bit more scenic. Oh, here we go. So this is farther away. If we did something like this, we could show the bees flying towards it, and that would be different because it would be away from the viewer direction. Let's try this one. going to use... I wish I had in here a gray brush, but I'll just use this. So this is just representing the rabbit brush. And then we've sort of got this ground cover, something in the background. This is so familiar to me. This looks just like where I live. I don't know where it says USU, so maybe that's Utah State University, maybe. That's pretty close to us. Okay, so I've created a environment, and if we have the bees flying away... Oh, that wing is terrible. Whatever, it's fine. So we'll show them flying away, and they're getting smaller and smaller because they're heading over to these rabbit bushes. Oh, the wings are bad. Wings are bad. Yeah, that's a bit better. We'll add the 4 wings instead of just 2. We'll have to see the teeny tiny ones way far away. Way far away. Haha, I'm gonna get there first. I'm gonna get all the best flowers. Yum, 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 yum. Flowers all for me. No, they work together. We could have a real big one right here. Real close. Oh, that would be nice. Wings. Oh, they're so bad. Whatever, it's a sketch. It's a sketch, it's fine. It's fine. Let me put a little lip balm on real quick now. The throat was dry. Now the lips are dry. I am so dry. I need to live in a humid environment, but for some reason my whole life I've lived in deserts. Born in northern Texas, moved to Southern California, Southern Arizona, Southern Idaho. It's all desert. My body was not made for dry environments. I want to go live on the coast. Live on an island. Yes, give me all the humidity and moisture. I loved it when I went to Japan, 2001. It was an exchange trip through the Sister Cities exchange program. I packed my lotion and I never used it through the whole trip. 2 weeks in Japan in summer. Didn't need a drop of lotion. My hair, my curly hair, was exploded with frizz, but I'll take a frizz any day because frizz doesn't physically hurt. Dry skin physically hurts if you let it go too far. This is so interesting. It's like tic-tac-toe. The 3 I like the best so far is this one, and this one. When it's hard to choose because this is a totally different composition than this. This is a really close-in version of this one. And there's no right answer. There's no right answer. I feel like this would be great though, because all of these images have the onomatopoeia flying around in transparent letters, translucent letters, flying around and filling the scene with the sounds of the onomatopoeia. And this leaves room for that to happen. We can have that happening here, but it'll just sort of be on top of all the bees. And it could be flying around in this scene too. And having all of our characters flying away from the viewer is totally different from anything we've done so far in this series. Let's keep making thumbnails. Let's not stop. We have a whole nother page that I printed. So even though I really like this one, I really like all 3 of these, there's still plenty more ideas to explore. I only looked up a single plant so far. So let's get some ideas from these other. Oh yeah, I love thistles because they're the national plant of Scotland or whatever. Thistle. And we have those here too. Images. Thistles. And they grow so huge too. They grow just as tall as I am or taller. Invasive, hold on, I gotta click this. Invasive plant profile, Canada and bull thistles. Yep, I'm pretty sure this is what we have. Invasive species. Ah, this is for Acadia National Park. Oh, Sarah, you've been there. You sent me some stuff from there. I still have it hanging up. Where is it? Here. Ah, I knocked down a postcard. Look, look. I have it. Acadia National Park. It's a thermometer and a compass. Oops, that's upside down. I have it on here with my little light, my keychain light. Hee hee. And this is for Acadia National Park. Wow! Okay, let me hang this back up. Not this postcard on the ground. Had it on my pin board here. Alright, I'll just set it here for now. So I need two hands, but one hand is on my phone. I don't need to look this up, but I love going down the rabbit hole. Look at that. Both species mature to be about 4 feet tall. Can grow in any environment. Bull thistle. Why is it invasive? Both species have been found in all 50 states in Canada. Their success can be blah blah blah. Where did they come from? Ooh, Canada thistle was also found to be allelopathic, which means that it secretes chemicals from its roots that are toxic to surrounding plants, giving it an advantage. Ooh, thistles, wow, dark. Notorious for draining nutrients from the soil around them, so very damaging to pastures and crops. Use large amounts of water, so they make soil dry and increase erosion potential. Well, interesting. Global climate change has created a unique opportunity for thistles. A study conducted in 2011 found that the higher temperatures in the northern hemisphere during the summer months and colder temperatures in the winter months cause an increase in growth and dispersal of many species of thistle. As our climate changes, Acadia National Park will continue to monitor and remove invasive species that are likely to benefit from changing conditions. Interesting. Okay. I just want to look for pictures, but I can't help it. When I see something like that, I can't help looking at it. It's just so interesting. It's hard to find. Oh, look, this one has a bumblebee on it. Here's the little bumblebee is actually on this picture. Virginia Working Landscapes. Well, let's try something with this. We've got this lovely flower. We could. So just looking at this image. So, oh wait, hold on. I need my little halfway point marker. Gotta stop the ideas for a moment. Let's divide these in half so that I know where the gutter is. I always do my best to design with the gutter in mind, but without being afraid of it. That's a big thing I learned in my illustration classes in university because I didn't know how to deal with it. I was trying to avoid putting anything in there because I was like, oh no, it's going to disappear. I must preserve everything that I draw, basically. But, and this is my own words, but my professor helped me realize that sometimes you, in order, for the sake of the quality of the image as a whole, You sometimes have to sacrifice something to the gutter. So that's what you got to get good at. What can you put in there and it's not a loss to the image? Instead, by putting it in the gutter, it actually makes the image stronger when it's printed as a book. That said, I've never had a book printed yet. Still working. I've got 2 active projects. This one, which is the Animal Onomatopoeia art book, and then my Griffia novel series, which I'm only on the first one. I call it a series because I intend to write plenty of them. But right now I'm still working on the first one. I intend it to be illustrated, but you have to write the story first. So if the story changed and you already have it illustrated, you just have to illustrate it again. So that's why you got to finalize the story first. So one day I will have an illustrated and published book. So I'm doing my best now to learn how to deal with that gutter in the most effective way possible. Because I like the idea of creating illustrations that work both as a just printed out at size on a flat piece of paper to be a print, and work printed in a book where it folds down the middle. And I've got some practice with that already because I create those Griffin greeting cards. Well, not just Griffin, because I made my pigeons greeting cards. Those greeting cards that go across the back, and I have to deal with that fold down the middle there too. So that's great practice. Okay. Now I have my middle line. So this thistle flower, wrong pen. I want to use the gray one again. Let's put the thistle flower here. I'm just going to draw it really roughly, but basically how I'm seeing it in this image. It's got these cute curvy uppy, I don't know if you call these petals or what, but there they are. It's a very spiky plant. Everything about it is spiky. And then in this actual reference image, you got the adorable, let's change to black. Adorable bean-shaped bumblebee. So what if we just had a few more flying in, so we could have one off in the distance flying towards us, and maybe one right here real big, so that the wings are even going off the page. That maybe one is, no, this is perfect. Put this buzz. And we could have this one coming in from here. And the speech bubble coming off of here. Boon. Boon. Not that many in this scene though. Oops. Got the ink on my hands. I'll just wipe it on my pants. Pants are black. Love wearing black pants. You can just wipe the ink right on it. Saves time. So there's not as many bees in here as I'd like to see. So if we created some more bees to fill the space. Although this feels like an attack or something. Because this bee is just minding their business like, yay, I found this great flower. And everyone's like, ah, I need this flower. Well, that's an idea. Gotta do the ideas, and then you can be sure that they don't work. Here's a nice one. This is a, what is this? Cirsium discolor field thistle. And it's white. That's That's interesting. Let's learn about this, because this could be nice. Wait. National distribution. Oh. I don't know if it'll work. The yellow is where it doesn't live, and I'm pretty sure that's where these bumblebees live. Oh, here's a whole bunch of thistles, littler ones. Let's try something with this. So seeing with a bunch of little ones, it'll probably be kind of like this. We've got this sort of horizon line. My voice is going today. Horizon line here with the tops of the greens of the thistles. And then you've got these little circles of their blooms. I'm suddenly craving another taste of my smoothie shake thing. Protein shake. I never know what to call it. I guess it's a shake because I shake it. It's a shake. I want some of my shake. Protein juice shake. I don't think I mentioned before. It also has chia seeds in it. My favorite, delicious, nutritious chia seeds. Okay, I think this would end up being rather similar to that other image, that other thumbnail. So we could have the bees flying in to sample these tasty flowers. And they get smaller and smaller as they get closer and closer. Let's see, I guess we could have one speech bubble here. And the other one here. I'm starting to feel like now that I've gone to this sort of, I did this one, actually I'm getting more and more into it. So I did these and then becoming this and these ones. All the bees are perfectly separated, which makes sense because if they're flying around, they don't want to be bumping into each other. They can't fly because their wings would get all tangled up. So if they're flying around like that, it makes sense that they would be a certain distance apart from each other. But when I looked at my previous work in this series, I have that happening a lot. With almost every single piece so far, the animals are well separated, or else there's a little bit of overlap between a few of them, but they still have a decent amount of space for each individual. And for the sake of variety, so that as someone paging through this doesn't feel like this is becoming really formulaic. I mean, of course this is formulaic. I actually have a very specific formula for each image, But I wouldn't want it to get boring and feel like, oh, this is the same one, but bees. This is the same one, but cats. Having something like this, or this, or this, where they're in a big jumble and they're all right next to each other and you actually feel like it's one big unit instead of multiple individuals, so they will be different colors. I feel like that will be a better addition to the series. Even if something like this or like this would still look nice on its own, this is part of a series and not just standalone. Let's look for more images of Hunt's bumblebees and try to find, how can I search for many, I'll put group. We'll see if we can get some real world examples of them together, not single individuals. This is everything so far. Even though I searched group, that's what I'm getting so far is just an individual bee. We need lots of bees. How about I put lots of Hunt's bumblebees? It's so cute. People have the picture of the sweet little bumblebee on their finger. It's so cute. I love it so much. It says Colorado insects. Yeah, it still just shows... Well, here's like two on a flower together. Dang. That's so pretty. They are so pretty. I love bumblebees so much. Now here they are tending to their eggs. Bumblebee, A to Z animals. Bumblebee bombus. I don't know what bombus means by itself. I'm interested. What does bombus mean in Latin? Oh. Well, this is from the Gemini AI, but it says in Latin, bombus means booming, buzzing, humming. Is likely derived from the Greek word bombos, which has a similar meaning. Oh. So they're named after buzzing. They're named after buzzing, you guys. How perfect is that? How perfect is that for this particular illustration where I am illustrating Buzz Buzz? I just picked them because they're cute and they're my favorite. I didn't know that they're literally named. They're literally named. Oh. They are named after their sound. Ah. Propacious. This is propacious. How wonderful. I'm just searching for images though. That's awesome. I didn't know that. I thought bombus meant round. I assumed it meant round because bumblebees are round, or they're like big and fluffy. And in The Hobbit, the big fat dwarf is called Bomber. But he also complains a lot, so maybe that's why he's named Bomber, is his complaining. Yeah, it's all pictures of individuals. Oh, here's that picture that brought me here. Them working in their nest together. Bombus means buzzing. That's so cool. I just did not know that. It was a complete coincidence. How spectacular. Still trying to find images of multiple bees. Let's try that. Multiple bees. Hunts bumblebee, multiple bees. Nope, they're all individuals. How can I make it search for what I want? It's literally giving me the same images even though I'm searching different words. It's like it's only respecting the first words. I guess I could just search bumblebee instead of hunts bumblebee. It won't necessarily be accurate to the species, but now here's a different species, but it's these all. This is an edited image. Someone edited it to put multiple bees. Dang, bumblebees are cute. Their little feet. Their little feet are so cute. Oh, that's sad. I don't like seeing the ones where they have them pinned on a board, you know? I don't like it. But here we go. Here's another bee pile. Life Cycle, Bumblebee Conservation Trust. Let's look at this. Maybe there's a little bit more information. This is the buff-tailed bumblebee. Oh, these are drawings, though. I was hoping to find some photographs. Honeybee Society. Here's a different bee pile. The first question on their bumblebee page is, why are bumblebees so furry? Let's see what it has to say. It says, if we look at all bees, they are furry in one place or another. But bumblebees have what seems to be super dense fur which covers their body. This fur has been adapted to help in attracting pollen while she buzzes from flower to flower. As bumblebees go from flower to flower, they come into contact with the pollen-laden part of the flower, the stamen, which releases pollen onto their body. Although the busy bumblebee continues to groom herself at each flower, some pollen particles are missed and transferred between flowers, so this simple process is also known as pollination. So her fur is what makes her such an essential and effective pollinator. What? That does not tell us why they're fuzzy, though. That's an effect of the fuzziness. Bumblebee fur also serves as a great insulator, allowing to keep warmer during flight and at rest. This means bumblebees are able to remain active in colder climates, where competitive pollinators may have to return home to conserve energy. Interesting. I don't want to see pinned ones. That's so sad. Oh, that's a drawing. Dang. Oh, here's that image that brought me here. Another example of them tending their nest. Maybe that's the only time they become a big group. Maybe I'll search for multiple bumblebees. Multiple bumblebees on a flower. Try that. We've got a couple. Got the bumblebees napping in the flower together. That's super cute. All right, everybody's favorite. Bumblebutts. This claims they have fallen asleep inside the flowers. Poor little babies. They're so tired they fall asleep on the job. I've got an idea from this search. If I put multiple... So far I've done... Well, this was closer, but it was this particular rabbit brush flower, which has lots and lots of flowers all together in a big cluster, and then the whole top of the plant is a big cluster. And then the thistles are... Let's see, did I draw... I think I did. Where did I draw? Oh, this was it. The one big thistle, but it's not enough for the bees to share. So maybe we can go in between. So this is the thistle, really huge. These are the thistles like way off in the distance. So maybe we'll zoom in a little bit from here, but not this far. Plus, there are more flowers I haven't looked at yet. This says sunflowers are liked, and almost all of the rest of this list I've never heard of before. So let's try thistles. Not quite so close. And then we definitely want some overlap. Don't want everything perfectly apart from each other. Let's have one like real big one here too. Still not as big as this though. And we can have some in the background. And in the gutter. Sacrifice it to the gutter. Let's do another one in the gutter over here, this side. Okay, now I've created my environment. Let's add the bees to this environment. So this is in between this scene and this scene, as far as the bigness goes. So we could have a nice big bumble here at rest. And then we could have other bumbles flying around, checking out the other ones. So we would want the flying ones to be the noise makers. So that's where the buzz buzz sound comes from, is the flying. And we're having the same issue I was talking about before. Just the nature of the way flowers grow. And the way bees work to get to the nectar, which I assume is what they eat. I don't know for sure. No one actually really talks about it in all these different articles I've read there the past couple days. No one really talks about what they actually eat out of the flowers, but we'll say it's nectar because that's usually what it is. Though they do collect the pollen, because they have the so-called pollen basket. It's like this, where the fur on their back leg collects more and more and more, so maybe they're also turning that into food. Anyway, They need a little space to do this. And so we've got these different elements that I'm trying to make work together. One, they need to be flying. In order to make lots and lots of buzzing sounds, we need lots of bees and they need to be flying. And then I'm trying to avoid creating too much of the same throughout this series of images with all the different animals, and I'm having a lot of the same thing happening where they're perfectly separated from each other, which is naturalistic. It makes sense that they would be separated from each other, but as far as the series go, it's starting to get boring. I don't want to decide yet though. There's only 8 minutes left of this stream, and then it's the last illustration stream of the year, so I won't be working on this again for 2 weeks because I'm taking Christmas week off and then New Year's week off. So I'll have a nice 2-week period to digest and think about these designs, these layouts, compositions, and make a decision then. So for these remaining minutes, let's look at some different flowers and try to come up with more ideas to sketch. So what else were there? Sunflowers. I wonder if I could get sunflower, bumblebee. Why? Why does it do that? I type bumble, then my keyboard is like, surely the next word you want to enter is baby. You did it yesterday too. Bumble baby. Maybe that's like a meme or something I'm not aware of, because I'm actually not that deep into the internet anymore because I'm working on stuff like this. I don't have time to stay caught up on the most recent memes. Maybe that's why. Like, why? Bumble baby. Oh, I should put photo because it's giving me a bunch of illustrations. What? That's not photo. Those are AI generated art. You can tell because of the weird smoothness of it. Anyway. Why is it not? It went to photo. The heck? Why is it not? Oh, here's somebody who did one. Bumblebee on sunflower. But once again, it's just a single bumblebee. Plus, they're not flying. Oh, here's our Hunt's bumblebee. There it is. 'Cause they have the 2 stripes, the 2 orange stripes. Look how cute. That little yellow patch on the back where the wings are. Oh, it doesn't want to focus. Come on, you can do it, camera. Yay. Look, it looks like a heart shape. It's so cute. Well, let's just try. We do a big sunflower. Let's try a big sunflower. We could have bees flying in. So what if the circle is the big sunflower? It's got that cool... Oh, we learned about it before when I did sunflowers. People have done a mathematical equation to describe the middle part of the sunflower. And then you've got the rays coming out. That's what else I learned from that illustration. They're not petals, they're rays because they are flat flowers. And there's usually 2 rows of them. Or at least, I don't know if it's 2 rows, but they're overlapping. They're not like this, they're like this. Okay, so we've got that as our environment. And then we've got some bumblebees coming in. One is landed. But this fellow's flying in here. Bean, cute bean shape. And we've got one coming in from this direction. We could have one here. They're like, yeah, this is the mother lode, man. Look at all of this pollen, yeah! One coming in from above. We have another small fellow here. There's not that much room for the buzz buzz sound though. So what if we do here? Buzz, buzz, and maybe right here. Boon, boon. Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter which flower I try. What else could we do? I just had a great idea. Something different. Something that we haven't tried yet. Just to try it. Let's just try it. So far we've had tons and tons and tons. What if we just have 2? 1 for each language. 1 boom boom bee and 1 buzz buzz bee. Just to get it on paper so we can see it along with all the others. Boom boom buzz buzz. Could draw them bigger too. Could have them near each other. Way bigger, taking up way more space. The wings are not accurate at all. Just trying to get the overall. My pen is starting to get dry because I've been using it so much. Just get the idea down. Boon, boon, buzz, buzz. So that's another option. It's definitely not as exciting. I really like this one. With all the different stripes and everything, and that would be the different contrast that we have going on between the black fur and the yellow fur and the orange fur. Of course, the yellow and orange will be different color. I think I would make it all just one color, so like green. It would be green and black, red and black, pink and black, yellow and black. Yellow and black is natural, but that's okay because it's part of the rainbow. What if we take this even bigger? So it's just like huge. So we're just seeing the head. The wing is like this. And then we see the buddy through the wings. And these wings are coming off. Oh, we're at time. Just trying to get as many ideas as I can. So this was a... Oh, I was going to put zub zub. So you can tell that it's quitting time. My brain is drained. Boom, boom, buzz, buzz. So I'm making bigger and bigger. And I might come back after my break and want to try some more angles. Right now, I really do like these two the best. But these are both looking down, like we saw in those photos. We could do looking at it from the side or being a part of it and seeing their faces. Like, what if you were from the point of view of a bee and you have all these bees around you? So we haven't tried those yet, but we are at time. My voice keeps breaking because I've been so excited today during this stream. So I think what I will do, so that I don't forget, I'm just going to write those ideas that I put. Try different angles of favorite compositions. Next. And I put a checkbox so I'll remember that I want to do that. Okay, let's check that off. We've got at least 2 here, and we can always print another sheet. But let's call that good for today. Let's do a quick review of what we did. So we finished up this brainstorming page with research and brainstorming. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different thumbnail sketches done. Which is pretty good because coming up with different ideas, as you may have noticed during this stream, is very hard. So I'm quite proud of myself for getting this many done. And then I came up with even more like literal angles that I can try next time. So you've got to try everything. You've got to get these down because the way you imagine it in your head may not look the same when you actually put it down on paper, or you may realize that there's an even better way to do it that you wouldn't have thought of if you didn't put it on paper. So we'll call it good here. I will be back tomorrow with some Chibi Friday. I don't think I have anything to stop me from starting work on this list of 4 gift and reward chibis that I have. So tomorrow we might be starting on it. Chibi internet celebrity otter. So hopefully we'll see you then. I think I shall raid today. Says we have 4 viewers. I feel like let's go see someone. We've got a nice little group today. Plus it's exciting. We only have 1 more stream of the year. So let's see, who do we want to go see? We've got, how do I find people? Oh, here we go. Oh, so many people are streaming who I'm following. Well, what I like to do is, if there's tons of people streaming, I like to go to whoever has the smallest amount of viewers and give them a little boost. So let's go see Yasmin Arts today. Just give me a moment. I'm going to pull my keyboard out. It looks like she's working on a badger. It says coloring a coloring page, and it seems to have a badger on it, so that's going to be cute. So I haven't raided in a while. I decided that I'm not going to raid if there's only a couple of us, because it's actually kind of hard to raid. I have to do all this extra stuff. So I like raiding and connecting with my fellow streamers and dropping y'all off at a nice stream to continue the chill vibes, art vibes. Let's see, I'm trying to, okay. But when there's just a couple of us, I feel tired. So today we got a nice little group. So let's go. /raid. Yasmin Arts. Yasmin Arts. Making sure I spelled that correctly. Alright, boom. Okay, the countdown is going down, and I need to remember that the stream cuts me off. So let me thank you so much for joining me today, for chatting, having a great time, and helping me come up with all kinds of cool ideas for this illustration. The rate is ready to go, but I'm going to let it automatically go because I don't know how much time I have before it cuts off. I will be back again tomorrow with Chibi Friday, working on a Chibi otter. I hope you'll come back and join me for that. Thank you for watching! All right, for anyone who's watching the recording or who is still on my channel now, the raid worked. So, like I said, that's it for me today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you again.